The explosion turned Yongkwan's penthouse into a fireball that could be seen from 3 districts away. He wasn't inside when it happened. Pure luck. A last-minute meeting across town, a traffic jam that saved his life. But as he stood on the street watching his home burn, watching flames consume everything he owned, Yongkwan felt the cold hand of his past wrap around his throat. This wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. This was a message written in fire and destruction. Someone from his old life had found him, and they were just getting started. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered, already knowing what he'd heard. "Hello, old friend." The voice was distorted, mechanical, but underneath it lay something familiar. Something that made Kwan's blood run cold. "Did you really think you could just walk away? Build a nice little family? Pretend the past didn't exist? Who is this?" Laughter. Dark, twisted. "You don't recognize me. I'm hurt. Then again, you left me for dead 5 years ago. Maybe I should return the favor." The line went dead. Kwan stood frozen as firefighters battled the blaze, as news helicopters circled overhead, as his carefully constructed world began to crumble. Because he knew that voice. Knew it even through the distortion. Lee Min-jae, his former partner. The man who'd betrayed him 5 years ago. The man who'd sold him out to their enemies, set up the ambush that nearly killed him, that stole his ability to feel alive. The man Kwan had left bleeding in a warehouse, assuming he'd died. Apparently, assumptions were dangerous things. And now Min-jae is back. Hunting. Ready to destroy everything Kwan loved. Starting with Amara and the children, 4 months earlier. The house Yongkwan had given them sat on the outskirts of Seoul, nestled in the mountains where city noise faded to whispers and the air tasted clean. It was perfect. 3 bedrooms for the children. A master suite for Amara. A garden where triplets could play without fear. Security cameras hidden in every corner. Armed guards disguised as groundskeepers. A golden cage, Amara thought. Beautiful, but still a cage. She'd accepted it for the children's safety. Not because she'd forgiven him. Not because she trusted him again. But because those intruders in her apartment had proven one terrifying truth. Yongkwan's world didn't stay contained. It bled into everything it touched. Better to be in a secure cage than an exposed target. The children had adapted frighteningly well. Marcus had asked about Daddy every day for the first week. Mason had drawn pictures of the man who'd saved them. And Mina, sweet, innocent Mina, had declared that Yongkwan had the same eyes as us, so he must be special. Children forgave so easily. It made Amara both grateful and furious. Kwan visited twice a week, carefully scheduled, always supervised. He'd bring gifts, nothing extravagant, having learned that lesson, just books, art supplies, things that made the children laugh. He'd read to them, play with them, soak up every moment like a man dying of thirst finally finding water. And he never once tried to touch Amara. Never pushed. Never demanded. Just looked at her with eyes that said everything his mouth didn't. "I'm sorry. I love you. I'm trying." It was infuriating how much she wanted to believe him. "You're staring at him again," her friend Keisha observed one afternoon, video calling from New York while Amara watched Kwan build a blanket fort with the triplets in the garden. "I'm not staring. I'm supervising." "Girl, you're staring like he's dessert and you've been on a diet for 3 years. I hate you. You love me, just like you love him even though you're too stubborn to admit it." Amara's throat tightened. "He destroyed me, Keisha. And he's trying to rebuild you. The question is, are you going to let him?" Before Amara could answer, the blanket fort collapsed. 3 children shrieked with laughter. Kwan emerged covered in sheets, hair disheveled, grinning in a way she'd never seen, uninhibited, genuine, young. He looked happy, really, truly happy, and that scared her more than anything, because it made her want things, hope for things, believe in impossible things. "Mommy, come play," Mina called, waving frantically. Kwan looked up. Their eyes met across the garden, a question in his gaze. Against her better judgment, Amara stood. I walked down the steps, entered the garden where her children played with their father. And for one perfect afternoon she let herself pretend they were a real family, but reality has teeth. And it was about to bite. The first signs something was wrong came 3 weeks later. Amara's new job, at a design firm Kwan had definitely not influenced, she'd made sure of that, received a mysterious package addressed to her. Inside, photographs, dozens of them. Her children are at school, at the park, at the house, taken from a distance with a telephoto lens, professional, invasive, terrifying. And underneath a note in elegant handwriting, beautiful children. It would be a shame if something happened to them. Amara's hands shook as she called Kwan. He answered immediately, always did when she called. "Someone's watching us," she said without preamble. "Someone sent me photos of the children." Silence. Then, "I'm coming. Don't leave the office. I'm sending security now." "Kwan? What's happening?" "My past," he said grimly. "It's catching up." He arrived within 20 minutes, a team of professionals securing the building while he examined the photographs with cold precision. His face was a mask, but Amara had learned to read the tension in his shoulders, the slight tick in his jaw. He was terrified, and that terrified her. "This is Minjai's work," he said finally. "He's been dead for 5 years, or so I thought." "Who is Minjai?" Kwan's eyes met hers. "My former partner, the man who betrayed me, the man who's responsible for everything, the shooting, my injuries, the reason I couldn't feel anything until you." He told her everything then, the partnership that had turned toxic, the ambush Minjai had orchestrated, selling out their operation to a rival syndicate, the warehouse where Kwan had confronted him, where they'd fought, where Minjai had been shot and left for dead. "I thought he was gone," Kwan finished. "I thought that part of my life was buried. But if he survived, then he's coming for revenge." Amara's voice was steady even though her insides were ice. "Using us. I won't let that happen. You can't promise that. You can't control everything. Watch me." His voice was steel. "I've spent 4 months trying to be the man you deserve, but if Minjai wants war, I'll give him war, and I'll burn down everything to keep you safe." "Even yourself?" He didn't answer. I didn't need to. They both knew the truth. Jung Kwan would sacrifice anything for his family, including his soul. The war began that night. 3 of Kwan's businesses were hit simultaneously. Coordinated attacks, professional, devastating. Not enough to cripple him, but enough to send a message. I can reach you anywhere. Kwan responded with surgical precision, traced the attacks back to their source, found Minjai's new operation, smaller than before, but vicious, built on old grudges and new ambitions. What followed was a brutal chess match played across Seoul's underworld. Move and countermove, attack and retaliation. Both men danced around each other, neither willing to make the final strike because they both knew the endgame would be bloody. But Minjai had one advantage Kwan didn't. Nothing to lose, no family to protect, no conscience to quiet. Just pure, undiluted hatred driving every decision. And he was patient. So patient. He waited until Kwan was distracted, focused on legitimate business deals, on dismantling his criminal empire piece by piece. Waited until Kwan's guard was down, then struck where it hurt most. The children's school was supposed to be impenetrable, private, exclusive, security that costs more than most people's annual salary. Kwan had personally vetted every teacher, every guard, every inch of the grounds. But Minjai has always been smarter than him. Always thought 3 steps ahead. The gas leak that evacuated the building was fake. Elaborate. Perfectly timed. In the chaos of evacuation, 3 children went missing. Marcus, Mason, Mina, gone. Amara's scream when she got the call could probably be heard in the next district. She was at the house and had taken the day off for a migraine. The phone slipped from her hands, clattering on marble floors. No, 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 no. Kwan arrived before she'd even finished collapsing. Must have been close. Probably was always close now, shadowing their lives even when invisible. He caught her before she hit the ground, held her as she shattered, as her world ended for the second time in 4 months. He took them, she gasped against his chest. Someone took my babies. I know. His voice was dead. Empty. I know. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered the speaker. Hello, Kwan. Min-jae's voice, undistorted this time. Miss me? Where are my children? Every word was a bullet. Safe. For now. Adorable little things, really. The girl has your eyes. The boys have your temper. One of them tried to bite my associate. Brave kid. If you hurt them, you'll what? Kill me? You already tried that once. Didn't take it. Min-jae laughed. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to meet me, alone, unarmed, and you're going to pay for what you did to me. Name the place. The warehouse. Where you left me to die. Poetic, don't you think? When? Midnight. And Kwan? If I see any of your people, if I even suspect backup, these kids won't see morning. Understand? The line died. Amara pulled back, eyes wild. You can't go alone. It's a trap. Of course it's a trap. Kwan was already moving, pulling weapons from hidden compartments throughout the house. But he has our children, so I'm walking into it. Then I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. They're my children too. Her voice cracked. I'm not sitting here while you play the hero. Not again. They stared at each other. A standoff. A moment where everything hung in balance. Finally, Kwan nodded. Vest. Weapon. You stay behind me, and if I say run, you run. No arguments. No promises. Despite everything, the terror, the rage, the fear, his lips twitched. You're going to get me killed one day. Better me than some revenge-obsessed psychopath. The warehouse stood like a monument to old sins. Abandoned. Rusted. The place where Jung-kwan had nearly died, where he'd left his former partner bleeding, where everything had changed. Now he was back, full circle. Fate or punishment, he wasn't sure which. They'd left the security team 2 blocks away. Close enough to respond, far enough not to trigger Min-jae's threats. It was a calculated risk. Everything was calculated now, except Amara's presence beside him. That was pure chaos, pure emotion, pure terrifying love that made him vulnerable in ways enemies could exploit. But he wouldn't send her away. Couldn't. Because these were her children too. And she deserved to fight for them. The warehouse door was unlocked. Inside, darkness is broken only by a single spotlight, illuminating the center of the vast space. And underneath that light, 3 small figures. Bound, gagged, terrified, but alive. Still alive. Marcus Mason, Mina! Amara's voice cracked. She started forward. Kwan grabbed her arm. Wait, it's too easy. He was right. Movement in the shadows. At least a dozen armed men surrounded them. And walking into the light, moving with the careful gait of someone whose body had been broken and badly healed. Lee Min-jae. He looked like a nightmare come to life. Half his face was scar tissue. Burns, Kwan realized, from the warehouse fire that had followed their fight. One arm hung at an odd angle, probably never set properly. He walked with a limp. But his eyes burned with 5 years of hatred and pain. Welcome back, old friend, Min-jae smiled, the expression grotesque on his ruined face. Miss the place? I certainly did. Spent a lot of time thinking about it while recovering. About you. About what you took from me. I took nothing you didn't deserve. Kwan's voice was ice. You betrayed everything we built. Because you were weak. Building an empire on honor and loyalty. That's not how this world works. Power comes from fear, control, things you used to understand before you went soft. Let the children go. Your fight is with me. Oh, the children go free. Eventually, after you pay the price. Min-jae gestured to his men. You see, I've thought a lot about revenge, about what would hurt you most. Death. Too quick, too easy. You'd be a martyr. He walked closer to the triplets, who whimpered behind their gags. Amara made a sound like a wounded animal. No, Minjae continued. What would hurt is watching everyone you love suffer, is living with the knowledge that your actions destroyed them, is carrying that guilt every single day for the rest of your miserable life. Stay away from them, Quan warned. Or what? You'll shoot me? Go ahead. My men have orders. I die. They die. All three. Choose carefully. Standoff. Mexican standoff with the highest possible stakes. Then Amara spoke, voice steady, deadly. You want revenge? Take it from me. Both men turned. She'd stepped forward away from Quan's protection, hands raised, weapon on the ground. I'm the one who brought him back to life, who gave him something to live for beyond your world of blood and violence. You want to hurt him? Start with me. Amara, no. Quan reached for her. She dodged, kept walking toward Minjae, toward their children, toward certain death. She's brave, Minjae observed. I like that. Fine. New plan. The woman dies. The children watch. And Quan lives, knowing he couldn't save any of you. He raised his gun, aimed at Amara's heart. Time slowed. Quan's hand went for his hidden weapon. He'd never been unarmed. Minjae should have known that. Calculating angles, trajectories, knowing he couldn't possibly reach her in time. The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space, but it didn't come from Minjae. He stumbled forward, surprise on his ruined face, blood blooming on his chest. Behind him, one of his own men lowered a smoking gun. Apologies, boss, the man said in perfect Japanese. Then I looked at Quan. All secured, sir. The rest are neutralized. Revelation crashed through the warehouse. The armed men in the shadows stepped forward, revealing themselves as Quan's team. The entire thing had been a counter-operation. Minjae's own people bought it. His plan infiltrated. His revenge turned against him. Minjae collapsed, coughing blood. How? You taught me to always have backup, Quan said coldly, moving past him to his children. I learned my lessons well. He cut the children free. They launched themselves at their parents, sobbing, clinging. Amara gathered all three, checking for injuries, kissing faces, whispering reassurances that everything was okay now. But it wasn't okay. Not quite. Because Minjae was laughing. Even bleeding out, he was laughing. You think this is over? He coughed, red spilling from his lips. You think I'm the only ghost from your past? You think... He convulsed, grabbed Quan's ankle with surprising strength. I was just the opening act. The real player, the one who funded all of this, who wants you destroyed? Who? Quan demanded. Minjae's laugh turned into a death rattle. With his last breath, he whispered two words that made Yongquan's blood run cold. Your brother. Then he died, eyes open, smile frozen. Final mystery delivered. An hour later, in the safety of Quan's secured facility, Amara finally let herself break. The children were asleep, sedated by medical staff, traumatized but physically unharmed, protected, safe, for now. But Amara couldn't stop shaking, couldn't stop seeing her babies bound and gagged, couldn't stop hearing Mina's muffled sobs. Quan found her on the balcony, staring at nothing, trembling like she might shatter. Hey, he said softly, approaching like she was a wild animal. They're okay. You're okay. We're not okay. Her voice was hollow. We'll never be okay. This is your life. This is what loving you means. Constant danger, constant fear. Watching my children used as weapons against you. I know. He didn't argue, didn't defend. I know, and I'm sorry. For all of it. For bringing this darkness into your world. Your brother? She turned. You have a brother? His expression shuttered. Had. I thought he was dead, killed in a power struggle years ago, before I even met you. Apparently people in your life don't stay dead. Jungho wasn't like Minjae. He was worse, smarter, more ruthless. If he's alive, if he's the one behind this, then what? Then we run. Simple. final. I take you and the children and we disappear. New identities, new country, new life. You'd do that, leave everything. In a heartbeat. He moved closer. Amara, I don't care about power, don't care about empires or revenge or any of it. I care about you, about them. That's all. That's everything. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe. And if your brother finds us anyway, then I kill him. No hesitation, no emotion, just a cold fact. And anyone else who threatens my family. I'll burn the whole world down if that's what it takes to keep you safe. That's not love, she whispered. That's an obsession. With you? Yes, absolutely. He cupped her face gently. I'm obsessed with your smile, with the way you fight for our children, with your strength and your fire and your impossible ability to forgive even when I don't deserve it. I'm obsessed with every breath you take, and I won't apologize for it. Tears spilled down her cheeks. This is insane. We're insane. Probably. His thumb wiped away her tears. But I'd rather be insane with you than sane without you. That's the worst romantic line I've ever heard. I'm a crime lord, not a poet. Despite everything, the trauma, the fear, the impossibility of their situation, Amara laughed, slightly hysterical, completely genuine. And then, she kissed him. Not the desperate kisses of their past, not the confused kisses of their present, but something new. Something that tasted like choice and forgiveness and terrifying hope. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Kwan pressed his forehead against hers. I love you, he whispered. I've loved you since that ridiculous night you stumbled drunk into my house, and I'll love you until my last breath. I hate that I love you back, she admitted, but I do. God help me, I will. It should have been their happy ending, their moment of reconciliation, their triumph over darkness. But happy endings don't exist in Jung Kwan's world, because at that exact moment, his phone rang. Unknown number. Again, he answered, already knowing this wouldn't be good news. Hello, little brother. The voice was cultured, educated, familiar in a way that made Kwan's blood freeze. Congratulations on surviving, Minjai. I admit I didn't think you would. You've gotten soft, Jung-ho. Surprised? You shouldn't be. You know what they say about the devil. Reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. What do you want? What I've always wanted. What's mine? You took the family business, my birthright, my empire. I've spent 5 years in the shadows, rebuilding, planning. And now? Cruel laughter. Now I'm ready to take it all back, starting with everything you love. I'll kill you. You can try, but I wonder, can you protect them all? Your woman, your children, every person you've ever cared about? Pause. Because I'm not Minjai. I don't make threats. I make promises. And I promise you this, little brother. In 1 week, your world ends. Everything burns, everyone dies, and you'll be left standing in the ashes, alone, broken, wishing I'd killed you too. Come for me then, leave them out of it. But where's the fun in that? Another laugh. See you soon, Kwan. 1 week, mark your calendar. The line went dead. Kwan stood frozen, phone in hand, while Amara watched with growing horror. What did he say? He couldn't answer, couldn't speak around the terror closing his throat, because Jung-ho wasn't like other enemies, wasn't like Minjai who'd let emotion cloud judgment. Jung-ho was patient, strategic, willing to sacrifice anything, including himself, to destroy what Kwan loved. And he had 1 week to figure out how to protect everyone, or watch them all die. 3,000 miles away, in a penthouse that made Kwan's destroyed home look modest, Jung-ho ended the call and smiled. His assistant entered, bowing deeply. The pieces are in position, sir. Everything is ready. Excellent. Jung-ho walked to the window, looking out at a city his brother didn't even know he controlled. 5 years I've waited. 5 years of planning, building, Preparing. He turned, eyes cold as death itself. My brother thinks he knows pain? Does he understand loss? By the time I'm finished, Jung Kwan will beg me for death, and I'll deny him even that mercy. And the woman? The children? Jung-ho's smile widened. They're the key to everything, the weakness I need, the leverage that will break him completely. He pulled up a photo on his tablet, Amara and the triplets, captured by hidden cameras, laughing in the garden of their safe house. 1 week, he said softly. 1 week until I teach my baby brother the most important lesson. In our world, love isn't strength. It's the deadliest weakness of all. He touched the photo, tracing Amara's face with one finger. And I'm going to exploit it until there's nothing left of him but screams. To be continued. Subscribe to Echoes of Law and drop a comment. Is Jung Kwan's love strong enough to save his family? Or will Jung-ho's revenge destroy them all? Can Amara forgive a man whose past keeps trying to kill their future? Part 5 will blow your mind. Blood, sacrifice, and a twist you won't see coming. Don't miss it.